This week is Torah portion Vayera, Exodus 6:2 to verse 9:35. And Elohim spoke to Moses and said to him, I am Yahweh, and I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as El Shaddai, but by my name Yahweh was I not known to them. And I have also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their sojournings in which they sojourned. And moreover, I have heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. Therefore say to the children of Israel, I am Yahweh, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will free you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and with great judgments. And I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you an Elohim. And you shall know that I am Yahweh your Elohim, who brings you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. And I will bring you into the land which I swore to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, and I will give it to you for a heritage. I am Yahweh. And Moses spoke so to the children of Israel, but they listened not to Moses because of anguish of spirit and because of cruel bondage. And Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Go in, speak to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, that he let the children of Israel go out of his land. And Moses spoke before Yahweh, saying, Behold, the children of Israel have not listened to me. How then shall Pharaoh hear me, who am of uncircumcised lips? And Yahweh spoke to Moses and to Aaron, and gave them a charge to the children of Israel, and to Pharaoh king of Egypt, to bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. These are the heads of their fathers' houses: the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, Hanok and Palu, Hezron and Carmi. These are the families of Reuben. And the sons of Simeon, Jemuel and Yamin, and Ohad and Jachin and Zohar, and Shaul the son of a Canaanitish woman. These are the families of Simeon. And these are the names of the sons of Levi according to their generations: Gershon and Kohath and Merari. And the years of the life of Levi were 137 years. The sons of Gershon, Libri and Shimoni according to their families. And the sons of Kohath, Amram and Izhar and Hebron and Uzziel. And the years of the life of Kohath were 133 years. And the sons of Merari, Mali and Mushi. These are the families of the Levites according to their generations. And Amram took him Jochebed, his father's sister, to wife, and she bare him Aaron and Moses. And the years of the life of Amram were 137 years. And the sons of Izhar, Korah and Nepheg and Zichri. And the sons of Uzziel, Mishael and Elzaphan and Sithri. And Aaron took him Elisheba, the daughter of the Aminadab, the sister of Nahshon, to wife, and she bare him Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Ithamar. And the sons of Korah, Asir and Elkanah and Abiasaph. These are the families of the Korahites. And Eleazar, Aaron's son, took him one of the daughters of Putiel to wife, and she bare him Phinehas. These are the heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites according to their families. These are the same Aaron and Moses to whom Yahweh said, Bring out the children of Israel from the land of Egypt according to their hosts. These are they that spoke to Pharaoh king of Egypt to bring out the children of Israel from Egypt. These are the same Moses and Aaron. And it came to pass, on the day when Yahweh spoke to Moses in the land of Egypt, that Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, I am Yahweh. Speak you to Pharaoh king of Egypt all that I speak to you. And Moses said before Yahweh, Behold, I am of uncircumcised lips, and how shall Pharaoh listen to me? And Yahweh said to Moses, See, I have made you as Elohim to Pharaoh, and Aaron your brother shall be your prophet. You shall speak all that I command you, and Aaron your brother shall speak to Pharaoh, that he let the children of Israel go out of his land. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and multiply my signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. But Pharaoh will not listen to you, and I will lay my hand upon Egypt, and bring forth my hosts, my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgments. And the Egyptians shall know that I am Yahweh, when I stretch forth my hand upon Egypt, and bring out the children of Israel from among them. And Moses and Aaron did so, as Yahweh commanded them, so did they. And Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old, when they spoke to Pharaoh. And Yahweh spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, When Pharaoh shall speak to you, saying, Show a wonder for you, then you shall say to Aaron, Take your rod and cast it down before Pharaoh, and let it become a serpent. And Moses and Aaron went in to Pharaoh, and they did so, as Yahweh had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh also called for the wise men and the sorcerers, and they also, the magicians of Egypt, did in like manner with their enchantments. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he listened not to them, as Yahweh had spoken. And Yahweh said to Moses, Pharaoh's heart is stubborn. He refuses to let the people go. Go to Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goes out to the water, and you shall stand by the river's bank to meet him, and the rod which was turned to a serpent shall you take in your hand. And you shall say to him, Yahweh, the Elohim of the Hebrews, has sent me to you, saying, Let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And behold, until now you have not listened. In this manner says Yahweh, In this you shall know that I am Yahweh. Behold, I will strike with the rod that is in my hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood. And the fish that are in the river shall die, and the river shall become foul, and the Egyptians shall loathe to drink water from the river. And Yahweh said to Moses, Say to Aaron, Take your rod, and stretch out your hand over the waters of Egypt, over their rivers, over their streams, and over their pools, and over all their ponds of water, that they may become blood. And there shall be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone. And Moses and Aaron did so, as Yahweh commanded, and he lifted up the rod, and struck the waters that were in the river in the sight of Pharaoh, and in the sight of his servants, and all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. And the fish that were in the river died, and the river became foul, and the Egyptians could not drink water from the river, and the blood was throughout all the land of Egypt. And the magicians of Egypt did in like manner with their enchantments, and Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he listened not to them, as Yahweh had spoken. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, neither did he lay even this to heart. And all the Egyptians dug round about the river for water to drink, for they could not drink of the water of the river. And 7 days were fulfilled after Yahweh had struck the river. And Yahweh spoke to Moses, Go into Pharaoh and say to him, In this manner says Yahweh, Let my people go, that they may serve me. And if you refuse to let them go, behold, I will plague all your borders with frogs. And the river shall swarm with frogs, which shall go up and come into your house, and into your bedchamber, and upon your bed, and into the house of your servants, and upon your people, and into your ovens, and into your kneading troughs. And the frogs shall come up both upon you, and upon your people, and upon all your servants. And Yahweh said to Moses, Say unto Aaron, Stretch forth your hand with your rod over the rivers, over the streams, and over the pools, and cause frogs to come up upon the land of Egypt. And Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. And the magicians did in like manner with their enchantments, and brought up frogs out of the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron, and said, Pray to Yahweh that he take away the frogs from me and from my people, and I will let the people go, that they may sacrifice to Yahweh. And Moses said to Pharaoh, Have you this glory over me? For what time shall I pray for you and for your servants and for your people, that the frogs be destroyed from you and your houses, and remain in the river only? And he said, For tomorrow. And he said, Be it according to your word, that you may know that there is none like unto Yahweh our Elohim. And the frogs shall depart from you, and from your houses, and from your servants, and from your people, and they shall remain in the river only. And Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, and Moses cried to Yahweh concerning the frogs which he had brought upon Pharaoh. And Yahweh did according to the word of Moses, and the frogs died out of the houses, out of the courts, and out of the fields. And they gathered them together in heaps, and the land stank. But when Pharaoh saw that there was respite, he hardened his heart and listened not to them, as Yahweh had spoken. And Yahweh said to Moses, Say to Aaron, Stretch out your rod, and strike the dust of the earth, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Egypt. And they did so. And Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod, and struck the dust of the earth, and there were lice upon man and upon beast. All the dust of the earth became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. And the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. And there were lice on man and on beast. Then the magician said to Pharaoh, This is the finger of Elohim. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he listened not to them, as Yahweh had spoken. And Yahweh said to Moses, Rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh. Lo, he comes forth to the water, and say to him, In this manner says Yahweh, Let my people go, that they may serve me. If you will not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies on you, and on your servants, and on your people, and into your houses, and the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground on which they are. And I will set apart in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end that you may know that I, Yahweh, am in the midst of the earth. And I will put a division between my people and your people. By tomorrow shall this sign be. And Yahweh did so, and there came grievous swarms of flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into his servants' houses, and in all the land of Egypt the land was corrupted by reason of the swarms of flies. And Pharaoh called for Moses and for Aaron, and said, Go sacrifice to your Elohim in the land. And Moses said, It is not right to do so, for we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to Yahweh our Elohim. Lo, shall we sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians before their eyes, and will they not stone us? We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness, and sacrifice to Yahweh our Elohim, as he shall command us. And Pharaoh said, I will let you go, that you may sacrifice to Yahweh your Elohim in the wilderness, only ye shall not go far away. Pray for me. And Moses said, Behold, I go out from you, and I will pray to Yahweh that the swarms of flies may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. Tomorrow, only let Pharaoh no longer deal deceitfully in not letting the people go to sacrifice to Yahweh. And Moses went out from Pharaoh and prayed to Yahweh. And Yahweh did according to the word of Moses, and he removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. There remained not one. And Pharaoh hardened his heart this time also, and he did not let the people go. Then Yahweh said to Moses, Go into Pharaoh and tell him, In this manner says Yahweh, the Elohim of the Hebrews, Let my people go, that they may serve me. For if you refuse to let them go, and will hold them still, behold, the hand of Yahweh is on your cattle, which are in the field, on the horses, on the asses, on the camels, on the herds, and on the flocks. There shall be a very grievous plague. And Yahweh shall make a distinction between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt, and nothing shall die of all that belongs to the children of Israel. And Yahweh appointed a set time, saying, Tomorrow Yahweh shall do this thing in the land. And Yahweh did that thing on the next day, and all the cattle of Egypt died, but not one of the cattle of the children of Israel died. And Pharaoh sent, and behold, there was not so much as one of the cattle of the Israelites dead. But the heart of Pharaoh was stubborn, and he did not let the people go. And Yahweh said to Moses and to Aaron, Take for yourselves handfuls of ashes of the furnace, and let Moses sprinkle it toward heaven in the sight of Pharaoh. And it shall become small dust over all the land of Egypt, and shall be a boiling break forth with blains upon man and upon beast throughout all the land of Egypt. And they took ashes of the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses sprinkled it up toward heaven, and it became a boil breaking forth with flames upon man and upon beast. And the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils, for the boils were on the magicians and on all the Egyptians. And Yahweh hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he listened not to them, as Yahweh had spoken to Moses. And Yahweh said to Moses, Rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh, and say to him, In this manner says Yahweh, the Elohim of the Hebrews, Let my people go, that they may serve me. For this time I will send all my plagues upon your heart, and on your servants, and on your people, that you may know that there is none like me in all the earth. For now I have put forth my hand, and have struck you and your people with pestilence, and you have been cut off from the earth. But in very deed for this cause have I made you to stand, to show you my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. Do you still exalt yourself against my people, that you will not let them go? Behold, tomorrow about this time I will cause it to rain a very grievous hail, such as not been in Egypt since the day it was founded, even until now. Now therefore send, hurry in your cattle and all that you have in the field, for every man and beast that shall be found in the field, and shall not be brought home, they shall come, but the hail shall come down upon them, and they shall die. He that feared the word of Yahweh among the servants of Pharaoh made his servants and his cattle flee into the houses, and he that regarded not the word of Yahweh left his servants and his cattle in the field. And Yahweh said to Moses, Stretch forth your hand toward heaven, that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt, upon man and upon beast, and upon every herb of the field, and throughout the land of Egypt. And Moses stretched forth his rod toward heaven, and Yahweh sent thunder and hail and fire down to the earth, and Yahweh rained hail upon the land of Egypt. So there was hail and fire mingled with the hail, very grievous, such as had not been in all the land of Egypt since it had become a nation. And the hail struck throughout all the land of Egypt, all that was in the field, both man and beast. And the hail struck every herb of the field, and broke every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, was there no hail. And Pharaoh sent and called for Moses and Aaron, and said to them, I have sinned this time. Yahweh is righteous, and I and my people are wicked. Pray to Yahweh, for there has been enough of these mighty thunderings and hail, and I will let you go, and you shall stay no longer. And Moses said to him, As soon as I have gone out of the city, I will spread abroad my hands to Yahweh. The thunder shall cease, neither shall there be any more hail, that you may know that the earth is Yahweh's. But as for you and your servants, I know that you still not fear Elohim. And the flax and the barley were destroyed, for the barley was in the air, and the flax was in bloom. But the wheat and the spelt were not destroyed, for they had not grown up. And Moses went out of the city from Pharaoh, and spread abroad his hands to Yahweh, and the thunders and hail ceased, and the rain was not poured upon the earth. And when Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunders had ceased, he sinned yet more, and hardened his heart, he and his servants. And the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the children of Israel go, as Yahweh had spoken by Moses.